All right, let's dive into something that might just change the way you see yourself. Literally. We're going to look at our bodies in a whole new way, pulling from a practice in the Raft of Freedom program. And believe me, this has the power to totally shift how we experience our own inner world. It all kicks off with this really provocative question. We walk around thinking our bodies are these solid, stable, definite things. This is me. But what if that's not the whole story? What if it's just a perception? What if you're actually more like a flowing river than some fixed statue? Okay, so this whole idea is framed by the central metaphor of the raft program. Picture this. You're building a vessel, a raft, to get from a dangerous shore, one filled with suffering and these harmful patterns we get stuck in, all the way to a safe shore, a place of freedom and real well-being. And you know what that raft is made of? Our own body. It's the very material we have to work with.
And yeah, the name RAFT is actually an acronym. It's like a map for the journey. R is for recognize that life is difficult. A is for abandoning those harmful cravings and compulsions that just make things harder. F is for realizing that freedom is something we can actually experience right here and now. And T is for training our body and mind to stay on this new, healthier course.
So the practice we're jumping into today, it's a huge part of that very first step, recognize. It's an incredibly powerful tool for just seeing what it means to be human with a new kind of clarity.
And this is where it gets really interesting. We get to the heart of the practice, which is all about deconstructing the body. Now hold on, not literally. We're talking perceptually. It means we're going to look at ourselves through the lens of these fundamental qualities, which have traditionally been called the elements.
This quote from the wonderful Thich Nhat Hanh just nails the whole point of this. When you see the body as being made of these elements, you start to see, hey, this isn't really me. You're not limited by it. It loosens that tight grip of me and mine, and man, that's where the freedom starts to creak in.
Now, it's super important to get this. We're not talking about the periodic table here. This isn't chemistry class. These elements are all about what you can feel right now in your own direct experience. So the earth element, that's any feeling of firmness, weight, solidity. Think of your bones, your teeth, your muscles. The water element is all about fluidity, your blood flowing, the moisture in your mouth, your sweat. Fire is pretty straightforward. It's temperature. The warmth in your hands, the heat of digestion, even the energy that comes with a strong emotion. And air, or wind, that's all about movement. Your breath, of course, but also the pulse in your wrist, any vibration, really any sense of change happening in the body.
The RAFT program then points to two more, slightly more subtle elements. First up is space. Think about the openness, the volume your body takes up, the cavities inside you. Your nostrils, your mouth, your lungs. It's the element that gives everything else dimension to existence. And finally, the sixth element is consciousness. Now, this isn't your personality or your thoughts or your story. It's way more fundamental than that. It's simply the quality of knowing, the basic impersonal awareness that is able to register all those other sensations, the heat, the hardness, the movement. It's the background awareness that's just there.
So you might be thinking, okay, this is a neat system, but why? Why bother breaking down my experience into earth, water, fire, and air? Well, because this way of seeing things, this deconstruction, it has a profound purpose. And honestly, it can change everything. To really get it, Gautama, the Buddha, used this incredible analogy of a butcher. Think about it. A butcher takes a cow and dissects it into all its parts. You've got ribs over here, flank steak over there, shoulder roast here. So, where did the cow go? The solid concept of cow just disappears. It's gone. It's the exact same thing with our body. When we start seeing it as this dynamic dance of elements, earth, water, fire, air, that solid, fixed idea of my body or me starts to dissolve too. And this naturally leads to this really liberating reflection. As you notice these qualities, you can say to yourself, this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. You see the firmness, it's not mine. You feel the heat, it's not me. You notice movement and realize it's not some permanent self. It's just nature, doing its thing. So how do we take this from a cool idea to a practical tool we can use every day? Well, it becomes especially powerful when you're trying to navigate those inner storms. The really tough, compulsive thoughts and urges. Just imagine that feeling of a really strong urge. There's often this intense heat, right? A kind of burning quality that feels so overwhelming and so personal. But what if, with this practice, you could just reframe it? That intense heat isn't my awful, terrible craving anymore. It is simply the fire element. Suddenly, it's just an impersonal, natural energy that's passing through. And that creates a little crack of daylight, a little bit of space, a little bit of freedom. Or how about that restless, jittery energy? That feeling that you have to get up, you have to do something, you have to act on that impulse right now. That is simply the air element. It's just movement, it's vibration, it's change. By calling it what it is, you see it for what it is, a temporary weather pattern in your body. It is not a command you have to obey. And just like the wind, it will pass. So you see, each element becomes a resource, a tool in your kit. Feeling scattered and lost? You can connect with the earth element to ground you, to give you stability. The water element can encourage flexibility and acceptance. The fire element lets you watch intensity without getting burned. The air element is a constant reminder that everything changes, nothing is permanent. The space element creates distance from those obsessive thoughts. And consciousness itself? It weakens the very identification with the craving in the first place. It's the ultimate trump card. Look, this is just one of many, many powerful practices you can use to build your own raft and start that journey away from suffering and toward freedom. And we have to give credit where it's due. This amazing practice comes directly from the RAFT to Freedom Workbook, which was put together by Dr. Catherine Jacob and Vince Cullen. And here's the best part. In what is just an incredible act of generosity, they have made the entire 67-chapter program packed with practices just like this one, completely free for anyone and everyone. You can find it, you can download it, you can dive in right now at rafttofreedom.org. So, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with a question from the program itself, something to really take with you. And don't just think about it like an intellectual puzzle. Really sit with it, feel into it. How does seeing your body not as one solid thing, but as this flowing collection of universal elements, how does that actually change your relationship with it? And this final quote from Pema Chodron just captures the essence of this whole perspective so beautifully. We're just borrowing these elements for a little while. We are a temporary, miraculous expression of the universe itself, constantly flowing, constantly changing, and deeply, deeply connected with everything.